What's up, world? Today we are going to do a 100,000 mile review on my 2016 Ford F150. Now, I have shared before that my 2016 Ford F150 is equipped with a 5-liter V8 engine, a 6-speed automatic transmission, and a 355 electronic locking differential and 4-wheel drive. Now, this truck was purchased new locally here in the Dallas area in January of 2017. Now, this truck does serve as my work vehicle, my personal vehicle, our family transportation, so this truck is 100% a multitasker. It does anything and everything that we do as far as transportation. It is definitely a workhorse of that order. So what I would like to share with you in this video is some of the maintenance items and procedures that I've used to keep this truck in such dependable condition, and as well as some of the minor modifications that I've made just to make the truck so much more functional and enjoyable over time. So with that said, do me a favor, jump in for another ride. Currently, I am driving to an accident scene, and just for transparency and applicable information for the video, I just want to share a little bit about what I do, but I don't share it much because of legality and privacy reasons. But I am an insurance professional, and in the insurance industry, what my primary role is I travel to commercial truck, semi-truck, heavy equipment accident scenes, and I actually document the scenes they're currently, just immediately post as it happens. So, dependability with this vehicle is absolutely imperative. If I get a call at, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and it's middle of the night and the weather's not great, whatever the situation is, when I get that call, I absolutely have to go. So, dependability is at the absolute top of the list of keeping everything functioning and just knowing that everything is going to work right whenever we need it. So just wanted to share a little bit about that. Maybe I get up here to the scene, I would, maybe I can share a little bit about that with you. But if not, just kind of wanted to, be transparent about why dependability and, keeping everything functioning at its best level, as long as possible was kind of imperative to what I do. Okay, so let's get started. We'll jump out and we'll talk about kind of general maintenance. We'll talk about some minor modifications that have been made to the truck just for comfort and functionality to do different tasks. And also we'll just kind of go over the overall general condition of the truck. Okay, so for the 100,000 mile F-150 review, I'm going to just start on the inside and we'll kind of walk through the overall condition of everything, how things have held up, any additions, any modifications, anything like that. And then we'll just kind of move to the outside, do a walk around the truck, and we'll kind of do the same thing. And I'll point out any maintenance items that have been performed, any modifications, any additions, anything like that, just to kind of give you an idea of how things have worked out functionally. Okay, so the mileage there you can see is 99,492.6 miles. So that's kind of where we're at. And on the inside, one of the things that I notice on vehicles that have seen a lot of miles is wear on these steering wheels. And I'm not sure why, but this one has actually held up really well, like extremely well. So I'm very impressed by it. As soon as I got this truck, one of the first things that I did was add the WeatherTech floor mats. Got a few of those there, and they've held up extremely well. This truck was originally equipped with some carpet floor mats, and I did not like them at all. They did not hold up in any way, shape, or form, so definitely was not impressed by that. You can see I have a garage door opener just clipped on the cup holder down there because the XLT on the sun visor does not have any provisions for a garage door opener, so that's just a simple fix for that. Also did the full WeatherTech floor mat in the back, so there is that. One of the upgrades or modifications that I did make, I don't know if you can really call this interior, the audio system. I did upgrade the audio system with the kicker setup, and it also has a subwoofer in the back, and it has a digital sound processor that connects to the factory speakers that processes sound a little bit different than the factory setup. And it was definitely well worth the money. So I'll take a look at that really quick. One of the things that I do not know why Ford did it is kind of actually mind-blowing. This seat is a nightmare to get up because the clip is way down behind the seat here. So I just use this little cheap, like super cheap actually, carabiner and a key ring, and I made a pull strap so that this can be released, and it's released like that. So I have no clue why Ford would put a latch this far down the seat that you can't reach and no handle on it. So that is kind of like mind-numbing, to be honest. I don't understand it whatsoever, but it was a cheap, simple fix for that. And there is the amp and the subwoofer from Kicker and the wiring that I installed there. So you can see it's all loomed up and it's tucked behind the carpet. And there is actually some information on this. If you want me to do a video on it or share some information, leave a comment down below. There's actually a factory wire behind the panel that is factory installed from Ford that is a power wire that you can tap into that will power this system, and it works perfectly. It's key on, so there's no tapping into anything. It's literally a factory connection. So that's kind of cool information to grab and make it function. So if you want information, please let me know on that. So a lot of decent storage. I will say that I do have buddies with Dodge trucks that has the under the floor storage and the bed boxes and different things like that. And I have to admit that that is super cool. So it can have more storage, to be honest. I guess it is what it is. So there is a lot of stuff that I keep in here, emergency supplies, safety vests, jumper cables, straps, tire repair equipment. So if you want to see a video, I can kind of blow all this stuff apart and, just kind of show you how I organize it and how I pack it away and what I carry and why, kind of the thought process behind it. So if you want to see any of that, please leave me a comment down below and I'll be glad to share some information with you that may help you out, especially if you're ever on the side of the road. Some of this stuff is, kind of prudent, for that type of situation. Now, the odd thing that Ford did on the driver's side rear seat with that whole debacle with the handle over there not being able to reach it is they put a strap right here that's like super easy to grab and open up, which makes absolutely no sense. So I don't understand it. So under this side is kind of the standard, gas funnel, roadside jack, that sort of thing. We all know those jacks are terrible, but whenever that's all you have, that's all you have. Then underneath the seat on this side is a toolkit, more cleaning supplies, extra towels, gloves, just kind of, anything that you might need on the side of the road or in a pinch. So let's move to the outside. All right, so we have located our accident scene here. Try and get turned around and make our way over to it. Just kind of give you an idea about what I do and, kind of the dependability aspect, why I do drive a pickup truck, even though we're in Texas. That's just what we do in Texas. I'll try to get just kind of a video overview of the scene. Obviously, I can't share any, details as far as company information. I don't want to get too specific even about cargo or anything like that. Just kind of give you an idea of what's going on in the aspect of, kind of the rhyme and the reasons as to making certain decisions as far as vehicles maintenance, aftermarket gear, things like that. So we're waiting on a tractor trailer here getting towed by a heavy equipment tow truck to get through this intersection so we can make our way. So let me get up here and see if we can get close to the scene and see what we can get documented. Maybe I can share a little bit of information for you just as a bonus to the video. Okay, so the highway is shut down up here, so we're going to make our way through the barricade and see if we can make our way up to the accident scene here. So the hazards on, traffic is coming up on us, and through the cones. So this is my accident scene. Sorry about the wind noise, but we've got an overturned tanker unit was hauling diesel fuel, and he turned over here on a pretty sharp curve entering the highway. And we have actually got another unit that just showed up on scene here, and we're going to start pumping off the diesel fuel off of the wreck unit and get it onto another unit, and then get a couple of heavy duty wreckers here to set it back upright and get it hauled off. Just a quick update, we have the commercial tractor trailer in the upright position, and it's getting hooked up to be towed back to its home terminal right now. So that's a good thing. Luckily, the only thing involved was just this tractor trailer and its associated drivers. So no injuries, everybody's safe. So that's a good thing. We don't have to, deal with any of that. It's just the property and the cargo. If you know anything about the hazmat placards, the initial report stated that it was diesel fuel, and it was not diesel fuel. So the hazmat placards reflect such. So although I probably show that information in this video, just again, legality and privacy issues. And the owner of the company was out here with me, and super great guy. So, obviously, if you're operating a company and this is your livelihood, some of the stuff could be pretty devastating to deal with. So, I'm definitely not going to share any of his information, or too much about the truck. Just kind of want to let you know kind of what I face on a pretty regular basis, and kind of want to focus really hard on my daily driver being, so dependable, and, upkeep on maintenance, and, kind of that sort of program. And, additionally, if you got your family riding around in it, you want it to be as dependable and safe as possible. So with that said, back to the review of our 2016 Ford F150. All right, so just to walk around the truck really quick as kind of an overview. You can see kind of got some little marks right there, scratches, things like that. Nothing over the top. Got some chips out of the paint there, stuff that's pretty similar on the front side of it. But overall, the paint has held up fantastic on the truck. I do have one rock chip right there, and that was actually got that driving to an archery tournament with my son down in the Austin area. So that's the one hiccup there on the windshield. Other than that, kind of the standard rock chips and things like that. There's no dents, no dings, nothing especially significant whatsoever. One thing that I will say about the truck is that it has never been washed at a commercial car wash. Not a coin-op car wash, not a drive-through car wash, not a hand wash car wash anywhere that's that you pay, that has a group of guys that run out and washes it. I've never done anything like that. It's been washed right here in this driveway, every single wash that it's ever received. And I use nothing but Chemical Guys products. So everything that has ever touched the truck as far as cleaning it, washing it, anything like that has all been Chemical Guys. Now I do keep, simple things like Grime Away and Armor All wipes and things like that, just for, wiping up mats, or if we happen to be traveling and eating in the truck, keep things like that. But as far as really maintenance, as far as any sort of wax sealers, car wash products, interior treatments, anything, I've always used Chemical Guys. There's a lot of good products out there. It's just what I've had great luck with. So I think in my mind that just kind of shows, if you find something that works for you, stick with it, and it'll serve you good for a lot of years. Especially in today's market, with the vehicles being as expensive as they are, I think it says a whole lot for making a vehicle last as long as you possibly can, as getting as much value for your dollar out of it as you possibly can. And the first thing that probably sticks out, obviously under the hood, is the K&N cold air kit. I did that install probably around 10 or 12,000 miles on the truck, and I actually did see a real world, probably about a 1 to 1.5 mile per gallon increase. So that was really nice to see, a real world improvement after you spent the money on something like that. Now, it did increase interior noise just a little bit, nothing significant, not like some crazy loud exhaust or anything like that, but there was a noticeable interior noise, but it wasn't anything out of hand. So if you want to, check out some more information on it, please leave me a message down in the comments, and I'll cover some more in-depth information on it and kind of the cleaning and maintenance that I've done over the years on that. Next thing under the hood is I did do an Optima battery install, and I'm absolutely a fan of Optima batteries. I've had great luck with them over the years. So the factory Motorcraft battery, I guess it lasted about maybe 5.5 years. So I did the Optima battery on it, and that has been the battery that's been on here ever since. In the back there, you can see the JLT oil separator. Now it's J&L oil separators, but I am definitely a believer in oil separators, especially on late model vehicles, because of the way the crankcase vent setups are on them. And it's usually pretty close to full every time I do an oil change on this truck. When I do oil changes, I don't really do the miles or anything. When I first bought it, I did an oil change at 1,000 miles after buying it, and then from then on, I just changed it, by what the ECM tells you. So as you go through, it'll say, 75%, 70%, whatever it is. So I usually get down somewhere around 10%, 10 to 15%, and try to do the oil change then. Especially, with the amount of miles that I drive. Now, with that, it's normally somewhere around the 8,500, 9,000 mile mark is usually whenever it's down to that 10%. So that just kind of gives you an idea of how often that I, change the oil, and I just kind of, time it that way. I don't necessarily do a particular set of miles, like 3,000 miles or whatever it may be. And I think, honestly, one of the reasons why we can do that now is because late model cars carry so much more oil than, older vehicles. If you look at a small block Ford or a small block Chevy and, 5, 6 quarts, and some of these vehicles now are, it's 9 quarts to fill them up. So, a lot more oil, a lot of different chemistry in late model oils. So I do use a particular brand of oil. I do use, I'm a stickler for Redline oil and K&N filters. So I will do a little more in-depth video about the oil change maintenance on this truck. So please check that video out if you want more information on it. Obviously, I'm assuming it works because, at 100,000 miles, I've had zero issues as far as that goes. As far as other maintenance items, at 90,000 miles, I just went ahead and, because I was going to put belts on it, accessory drive belts, I went ahead and changed both of the accessory drive tensioners. So I did replace both tensioners and both of the accessory drive belts, and also I did a set of spark plugs around the same time. I think around 90 or 95,000 miles. I normally keep I have a book, for each vehicle that I record all the maintenance information, dates and miles, but I didn't want to bore you to death with that. So I did the NGK ruthenium spark plugs, and they were actually pretty impressive. The idle quality did improve over what it was before. Now, we're also comparing this to 90,000 mile spark plugs. So, but I was very happy with the NGK ruthenium plugs. And other than that, under the hood, it's just been the absolute basic stuff. I take an air hose and kind of blow it out, and I try to wipe things down. Obviously, you can see it's extremely dirty right now, but you can see by kind of what we're doing that it's 100% a work truck, and it's bought to work and use. So wiring there on the battery for the retracts bed cover. So as we move around to the back, we'll check that out. I don't know if you can hear Abby out here panting at me, but it's starting to get hot, so it's time to go inside. And you really can't see them on the front because of the dust boots, but on the rear you can see the Bilstein 5100s, that those were replaced. I do have a video about that, so I have learned a lot about videography since that video, so I kind of feel like I've been drinking from a fire hose here, learning, about videography and kind of how the channels work, so I'm actually enjoying the journey. Also did the wheel liners, and for whatever reason, this particular brand is the Husky wheel liners. I have no clue whatsoever why Ford would sell a truck without any sort of wheel liner in it whatsoever, but they do. It's actually an option at some point on some of the paperwork that I've noticed. So I think that's one of those things that have been extremely cheap, trying to maximize profits. But it's a company. That's what they're here for, is to make money. So yeah, I actually had to buy plastic wheel liners because Ford doesn't install them from the factory. One of the things about these Husky liners that I have noticed is you can see this kind of edge right here sticking out. Not super thrilled with how they fit, but it's also not the end of the world. It's just something that I've noticed over time. The Retracts XR Pro bed cover. This is something that I actually did a little later on the truck that for the expense I was kind of debating on doing. I think it was around, I really want to say it was around 70,000 miles, something like that. And I had debated on doing it quite some time. And actually, my son and I, when we were taking a hunting trip, we needed a place to keep everything out of the weather and dry. And I just decided to pull the trigger on it. So I bought this, and I really wished I'd have done it much sooner. This is the aluminum cover. I think these are probably over $2,000 for the power version. You can get them, cheaper that's not power. I just opted to do the power because of the simple fact it has a light. So, early mornings, late evenings, it's really nice to have that light option. So that is the bed cover retracted all the way up into the canister. You can see the drain hoses down below, and you can see the wiring tucked up there on the side, and it just uses a couple of plastic tie straps to hold everything up in place. And everything is loomed up. It kind of drops down the front side of the bed and follows the frame up there to the battery. And like I said, everything is loomed. So I try to make it, as much of a factory looking install as possible. Now, the tie-down cleats actually came in a box with the truck, so I installed those basically as soon as I got the truck, and they've been in ever since, and they've been used a lot. So they're actually in really good condition to be used as much as they have. The plastic drop-in bed liner, I was actually going to buy the Ford bed liner, and I kind of started doing some research, and Pendoliner is actually who makes the Ford bed liners, so they're much cheaper, and if they're the same thing that Ford's purchasing to turn around and mark up and sell to you, they just have a Ford logo, then I opted to save the money and just got the Pendoliner, and it's done really well. You can see, it kind of has some scratches and wear marks and things like that from sliding in and out, but, that's no big deal whatsoever. We did do the weather stripping down the side for the bed cover to help keep, any kind of moisture or rain out. You can see the bed of the truck needs to be swept out, so it's obviously used. Also, one of the things that my son and I did was this truck, being an XLT, does not come with the tailgate assist shock. So it's pretty easy install. We actually bought that from Tasca Ford. And basically, really all you do is remove this tail light, and it is a strut just like you would have under the hood or a trunk or anything else. And that lets the tailgate down slowly so it doesn't just slam, and also assist with closing it. So we did that just for the fact, again, of we're always loading up, hunting gear or whatever it is. So we did do the tailgate assist strut, and I actually like it much better than just the tailgate falling, especially when your hands are full. That's really when it pays off. So, if we're loading or unloading hunting gear, it just makes it so much more convenient when your hands are full, just to be able to, drop that tailgate and, just kind of let it fall down, and you can start sliding whatever you got into the rear. So that is actually a, something that's inexpensive and has been pretty nice to have. I don't know how well you can see this. I think you can see it pretty good. We do maintain the tire pressure on the, just keep an eye on it on the spare tire. It does still have the original spare tire that came with it. We do, kind of run the mechanism, the cable up and down a couple of times, probably twice a year, especially during the winter months, just to kind of make sure that all functions. And we did do the B&M rear diff cover. And I think around 30,000 miles, I actually did a fluid change, and I did that diff cover. It holds a little bit of extra fluid, and I did change the fluid over to Royal Purple. And I know Royal Purple's got some, some pretty good marketing stuff. A lot of people make fun of it, and as they probably should, because they are definitely the marketing kings. But I've had great luck out of Royal Purple, and especially in like Tremec transmissions. For Mustangs, hot rods, and things like that. So I think they make a great product. So I did do the, swap over to the Royal Purple rear diff fluid. This truck does have 355 with the electronic locking differential, so it didn't require any kind of friction modifier or anything. But the Royal Purple does have a friction modifier already added, so that worked out well. Haven't had any issues with that. At 75,000 miles, I did go ahead and I didn't do a full flush on the transmission. I just dropped the pan, new filter, and refilled, what came out with the filter in the pan. So I will probably actually do that again
somewhere around 100, 110,000 miles is what I'm thinking, and just kind of stay consistent with that schedule as far as the transmission. But the 6-speed has done great, no issues whatsoever. So other than that, I think that about covers everything on the engine and everything with the truck.
Now, I have to say, after 100,000 miles, this truck, I'm seriously impressed. Man, it drives great. Obviously, with the Bilstein 5100s on here, it rides fantastic. Still has a factory springs on it. Uh, I've never done an alignment on it. It still drives absolutely straight and true as it possibly could. There's really not enough good to say about it. It's absolutely been impressive. So, I can't I don't have enough experience to speak to the EcoBoost platform trucks or anything like that comparatively. But the truck, has a great power curve, great power band all the way throughout. The 6-speed transmission has been great. I know, kind of the 10-speed is all the rage now, and I don't have enough experience with the 10-speed to speak about them. But the 6-speed has done an absolutely fantastic job for me. So I'm really happy with the truck. I couldn't be any more happy with it. And I do have to add that one of my personal thoughts isn't just, biased towards a particular make or model, whether it's a Ford, a Chevy, a Dodge, a Toyota, whatever, it doesn't matter. One of the things that, some of my car buddies and I talk about is, I think oftentimes that, the technique in driving a vehicle and the maintenance program that it's on speaks volumes. It doesn't matter the make, the model, the brand. It just really honestly doesn't matter. It's kind of a running joke between one of my car buddies and I that, at the end of the day, it really just comes down to good driving techniques and, good maintenance programs. So, kind of the joke is if you gave us a new Chevy Spark or a Ford Fiesta, we'd be the guys to get 300,000 miles out of it and enjoy every bit of it. So I really hope this information has helped you out, maybe help you make a few decisions as far as maintenance or future purchases for a new or used vehicle. And if you have any recommendations, please leave them down in the comments below if you see anything that, maybe could use improving or changing or just general ideas. In my opinion, that's one of the great things about so many online media outlets is the fact that we can talk about, real world, long-term performance of a vehicle. Traditional media outlets, they're limited in what they can do. 3 to 6,000 miles is a long-term test, and I understand that they're under time constraints, but, in the real world, we can get out and we can review a vehicle that we may have drove 2, 3, half a million miles. And we can talk about common things that, occur, common things that fail, and the common fixes for those failures. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I really do hope you got some good information out of this. Please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit the bell notification, hit that subscribe button, and as always, jump in for another ride.